As for the actual Hebrew words used to name the four different groups in Genesis 6:4, the Hebrew word Elohim is plural, meaning more than one, and can denote both male and female genders. Therefore, it is more properly translated as gods, plural. The phrase Beni ha-Elohim means the sons of the gods. It is also plural, but its gender is male. The phrase Benawat ha-Adam means daughters of Adam. It is also plural, but its gender is female. King James translated this phrase as daughters of men. But for our purpose, we could call them daughters of the Adamites. The word Gibborim is also plural, and when translated as mighty men, seems to bear a male connotation. But it could also include both male and female genders. And lastly, the word Nephilim is likewise a plural word, and can denote both male and female genders. Regarding the various DNA combinations which might have occurred between the four groups mentioned in Genesis 6:4, the Elohim, being as far as we know from space, would carry both Y and X chromosomes from space, as well as mitochondria, mtDNA, from space. The Adamites, being from Earth, would carry Y and X chromosomes from Earth, and also mitochondria from Earth. The sons of the Elohim, being male, would each carry one Y chromosome from space, one X chromosome from space, and of course mitochondria from space. The daughters of the Adamites, being female, would carry no Y chromosomes, but instead would each have two X chromosomes, both earthly. And of course mitochondria from Earth. But when we get to the Gibborim, the hybrid children of the Beni Elohim and the daughters of Adam, we get mixtures of both earthly and non-earthly DNA. As for those Gibborim who were male, the so-called mighty men, they would each have one Y chromosome from space, from their fathers, one X chromosome from Earth, from their mothers, and their mitochondria would also be earthly, coming from their mothers. But if any of the Gibborim were female, they would each have one X chromosome from space, from their fathers, one X chromosome from Earth, from their mothers, and mitochondria from Earth. Since we have never heard of female Gibborim, that might indicate that the Beni Elohim only carried Y chromosomes, and had no X chromosomes. And therefore could only beget sons, and not daughters. But that's a discussion for another day. And as for the Nephilim, we can only guess if they were earthly or not. Were they from another branch of the human family? Distant cousins of ours? Remnants of more archaic humans? In other words, descended from pre-Adamites? Or were they not human at all? Were they indeed giants, titans, or something like that? Or could they have been dinosaurs, or something just as monstrous? Or were the Nephilim possibly fallen from space, and from another world entirely? Or maybe none of the above. Whatever the case, their DNA might be the hardest of all to determine. One final note before we finish. We should state of course that we don't really know if the Elohim were from space. They may have simply been a more advanced earthly culture. As such they were probably progenitors to and creators of the Adamites. If they were earthly like the other groups, then we would have to view the conditions of all these DNA combinations between them a bit differently.